Tent meeting of the Hammond Board of Public Works and Safety. Roll call.
Mr. Bisacki?
Here.
Ms. Gray?
Here.
Mr. Margaret?
Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
Hearing none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. Did anybody have a chance to look at the February 4th minutes? I didn't.
No.
So,
Motion to defer action?
motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Correspondence, item A. Move these over here. AT&T requesting permission to perform work at 5725 Kennedy. They're going to do a bore under the street. So do I have a motion approving their digging request?
Motion to approve?
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Next, we have the schedule of demolition on the J.C. Penney building. It looks like they're going to be starting, well, actually, they were supposed to start in February. They probably have. They're probably working on the internal stuff, but it should be completed by middle of May. Do we need approval on that? Or is it, that's probably just for informational purposes.
Okay.
Item C, proposal received from Karazani Kuhn and Associates for feasibility study for 5231 Holman Avenue. This is the potential relocation of City Hall. He's got a cap on his contract of $35,000. Do I have a motion approving the proposal?
Motion to approve?
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item D, we have correspondence from Chief of Police John Doty requesting approval of the transfer of Officer Gabriel Gutierrez to the traffic section with receipt of A1 specialty pay, transfer of Officer Christopher Howard to the patrol section with relinquishment of A1 specialty pay, and approval of the Festival of the Lake street closures and disposal authorizations. Do I have a motion approving the chief's requests?
So moved?
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Rental registration hearing on property located at 6330 Holman. Is there someone in the audience that owns that property? Step up to the microphone, state your name for the record. Right here where the microphone is.
6330 High Hub.
And what's your name?
My Lin Lang. Yeah, Lin.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mr. President, the building department is asking that we set this over. The water consumption in 2015 is 20,000 gallons a month. So even if you've got 20 people living there, or you've got a leak that you need to take care of, the toilets are running all day, every day.
Oh, I don't know why they show this much because every month every 2 months I pay $90 something like that. I pay every 2 months about $90 to $95. Yeah. I can show you the water bill next week because I pay the garbage and water together is only.
Is that building vacant?
No,
Someone in it?
Yeah.
We did do an inspection last week.
Uh-huh.
There's 5 bedrooms, and some's occupying every bedroom. And they may be more than one person in the bedroom, which is fine. But it's a huge house, a lot of bedrooms, consumption would be consistent with 8 to 10 people on average.
It's always less than 7 people. I don't know why they say this much water. I can show you the bill next week because every month I pay about $90 for 2 months. $90. That's include the garbage too. I don't know why they show this much. Yeah.
The water consumption for 2015, and you make a comparison.
Yeah.
I believe it's $90 bill,
Mhm.
justified 20,000 gallons.
Yeah, and I think not that much. I can bring the bill next week. I, maybe they make a mistake, not that much.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
So you want to set this
Yeah.
over for
Yeah.
status on?
Yeah, because we only use normal with the summertime, just put some water in the grass, that's all.
So you're going to work with the building department to try to get this resolved?
Yeah, I can bring the next bill, last 4 years, the water bill over to show you how much we use.
You say you got a $90 water bill. Their
Yeah.
assumption, what they said at first was that it wasn't occupied in 2015. But he's got a $90 water bill, which means water consumption is in there.
I mean-
I guess if we can handle this right now, if he's saying there was people in there in 2015,
That's year, a lot of people there is 5 years before. Yeah, you check it, yeah, you come here last way, yeah, it's already.
So we're going to defer action on this until next week after you get a chance to work with him?
Yeah, I believe the order there.
Basically, I'm gonna get the water department records, he's gonna bring in the bills.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we need a motion to defer?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Questions or, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item F, correspondence received. We have 3 requests for rental registration hearings. When do we want to set those? April 14th, Ms. Secretary? April 14th.
Need a motion?
Do-
Do I need a motion?
Let's do one. Motion is set for April 14th. We're going to make
So
that
moved.
motion? Second. Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item G, notice of violation hearing on property located at 932 Michigan.
Morning. We did an interior inspection of the property at 932 Michigan. We found numerous deficiencies. We also found illegal basement or unsafe basement bedrooms and an unauthorized second floor apartment. And we're requesting the removal of all. Notice was sent to the bank and
I'm Dino Katropoulos. I represent the bank. We just sold the home as is. The new buyer is aware that they have to do these things. Here are the signatures. The buyer's actually supposed to be here. I'm not sure where they're at right now.
Actually, you know, others that would go forward with this case, so buyers buying it, it's already a matter of here in the public works.
So is the buyer going to come in here in a couple of weeks and say, hey, I bought a 2-flat?
Exactly. We're here to say, remove this illegal second unit, remove bedrooms and basement. They have some signatures that say that that was done, and they understand that this is documented. If we affirm the removal, then they would obligate to remove that second floor apartment that is not covered.
So what kind of action do you want the board to take?
Removal of the second floor apartment and the bedrooms and basement.
Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye. Those against, motion passes. Okay. Item H, notice of violation hearing on property located at 4137 Dearborn.
Kelly.
4137 Dearborn. Currently, this is a slab property. Sits as a 2-unit with a front and a rear unit. The property at one point in time was built as a storefront with living space in the rear. Subsequently was converted. It's been rented out for the last couple years. However, recently, how it was brought to our attention was the owner has passed away. Therefore, the tenant who was occupying the rear of the property, as the owners, was acting as a landlord. After she passed away, the tenant subsequently attempted to get ownership of the property and then had another tenant rent out the front apartment where the owner previously occupied. We were drawn to the property, performed an inspection, determined that there was no fire separation, no permits to ever convert that storefront to an apartment, let alone living space. Therefore, today I'm asking that you affirm the removal of this illegal front apartment. The situation is right now, I guess it's going through the process of the mortgage company taking ownership since the owner had passed away. There's no next of kin or anybody claiming ownership. I received some information from the tenant regarding to, some relatives. They explained they wanted nothing to do with the property. They're walking away, so that's why the mortgage company is looking to take ownership of it. There's some pretty significant electrical hazards as well as,
Currently occupied?
they should be both out of there. It was marked uninhabitable during the inspection. Both tenants were made aware of the current situation. The rear tenant was attempting to make payments to Aquin to try to, gain ownership of it. But after her seeing the amount of violations that were here and the safety concerns, she decided that it wasn't in her best interest to try to take the property from them. So they are both vacated, but again, this is a property that has an attached garage as well with no fire separation. The electrical is a mess. So I'm just asking today that the board affirm so it can get recorded, that whoever does end up getting the property will know it would have to go back to a single-family home.
Okay. So do I have a motion to affirm?
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item I, notice of violation hearing on property located at 4738 Johnson.
Okay. All right, so I guess the owner is here. This is a property, 4700 block of Johnson. This was actually inspected in 2012, when I first started with the department. And it was determined then that the property was unsafe, marked uninhabitable. Since, we have went back to perform another inspection, and the owner has actually started to perform the removals of the second floor and first floor front apartment at this location. It's not 100% complete yet, but he has been complying with our request. Today, I'm asking that the board affirm the removal of the second floor apartment and the first floor front based on the property not having adequate fire separation. No permits were ever pulled to convert this single-family home to a 3-unit property. The property does not meet zoning requirements to be used as a commercial location, and along with a few other violations that are existing here. I'll give the owner a chance to speak.
I'm sorry, my
State
English,
your name for the record.
Federico Patricio. I'm sorry, my English is not very well, but I'm trying to explain. That thing is, I bought the house, like how is it, and I never did anything inside. And I would like to fix it because this is a big problem for me. And I don't have the money to fix, and I would like you give me time to remove the walls at the second floor and the first floor.
How much time are you requesting?
I don't know how much time.
We have no problem working with him. Currently, there is only one individual occupying the property. Therefore, it is being used as a single-family home. So as long as none of the other 2 units are intended to be occupied, then we have no problem working with him to perform the work and bring that property back into compliance. Main thing that we want to make sure is that the electrical needs to be converted. It still contains 2 meters and 2 panels, and then there's a side staircase on the property that is very dangerous. No footings. It's actually leaning to one side, not attached properly to the structure. So we'd like to see that come down as well. There is interior still well access to the second floor. So as long as we can focus on those 2 things first, then he can be given all the time that he needs to bring the property into compliance.
So should we set a status in, what, like 60 days or something?
Yeah, I mean, that would be fine. I would ask that the board affirm the removal first, and then I can work with the owner to ensure re-inspections get performed and permits get pulled for the work.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to status then with that?
Do we have well, first he wants to affirm the removal.
Okay, motion to affirm the order?
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Should we schedule a status, or will you just bring it back if you need to?
Yeah, I'll bring it back if I need to. I'll stay in contact with the owner, make sure that progress is being made. That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Item J, notice of violation hearing on property located at 2110 Superior. Is that yours too?
gonna actually be a pretty easy one. This is a 3-unit, brick property on 2100 block of Superior. The owner has already removed the basement apartment. There were some issues with seepage and other, things. So the apartment was severely damaged by water. The owner decided that, based on our findings and research in our department regards to permits and other requirements, that there was none, he would just go ahead and have it removed. So we're just asking that the board affirm that this property is a 2-unit property and will not be allowed to be a 3-unit anytime in the future.
Do I have such a motion?
Motion to accept the findings.
Second?
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes.
Thank you.
I'd like to recognize Janet Venez in the audience, Councilwoman at Large. I couldn't see her over the podium. Item K, notice of violation hearing on property located at 5604 Walter. Thank you.
Good morning. First thing with this, we got a call from fire department. Actually, I believe there was a makeshift bedroom which led to a furnace overheating. Once we got there, we determined this was a single family home, but there's also an attic bedroom with a ceiling height of 6'5", and anything on the top floor, second floor should be 7 foot. And also we found in the basement that there was a basement apartment which the people from the attic bedroom planned on moving to, but that also had a ceiling height of 6'8", which anything in the basement will be required to be at least 7 foot. So we're asking for the removal of the attic bedroom and the basement apartment.
I talked to the brother of the owner, I talked to him yesterday. He said he would buy the property, he'd look at it, he would, his residence when he was a child, he has been converted there, was not as good since he moved out. And he's willing to cooperate with us and whatever needs to be done.
Motion to affirm the order?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item L, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Hammond, Indiana, authorizing the disposal of surplus property under Indiana law.
Mr. President, that's the one Gary was looking for.
This is the one that you're?
Yeah, that is. I actually, if you if I can approach, I brought a couple extra copies so
Oh.
that we can send one to Gary or Ann.
Oh, so it was in here.
Yeah, it was in there. The Public Works Department has 2 old recycling machines that don't work anymore, and as we don't do recycling, we contracted it out. He wants to dispose of them by transferring them to another municipality that is excited to have both of them. And so I would just ask that you please sign all the copies, because I want to give a copy to Gary, and I want to send a copy down to the receiving community so that they can model their reciprocal resolution off of mine.
We're going to get more than scrap value. We're getting
Yes.
a good piece of change for those old
Correct.
trucks that haven't run in 2 years.
They haven't run in 2 years, and we don't have any use for them, even if they did.
Do I have a motion approving the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Okay, then we move down to correspondence received from Gary Gleason, Director of Public Works, requesting approval of placing residential parking only sign at 3111 165th Street for a 90-day trial. Do I have a motion approving Gary's request?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. We have a service agreement with Sender and Company. That came from the controller's office, right?
It is. They are our financial advising firm that we work with. Request that the board consider their contract for the year 2016.
Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item O, correspondence received from the Whiting Robertsdale Chamber of Commerce requesting approval of the annual Garage Mahal, Saturday, May 21st. Do I have a motion approving the Garage Mahal?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have any matters from other board members? Do we have?
No.
Do we have any matters from other department heads or their representatives? Chris?
I would just ask that there are 4 demolition orders from last week's meeting, and I would just ask the board to please sign them before they leave so I can get them recorded.
I signed them, but I think somebody else needs to too.
Yeah, that's right.
We need at least 2 signatures.
I just need 2 signatures so I can get those recorded. Those are from last week's hearing.
Okay. No,
No.
no, they're upstairs.
Oh, they're upstairs.
They're on Lynn's desk.
All right.
Oh, those are them?
Sign.
Okay,
Oh, that's
okay.
Okay.
Any other matters from other department heads? Any new business? Any old business? Meetings open to public. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to get up and speak? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Meeting's adjourned.